All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? We have incoming Badger freshman Will Garlock. Will, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing well. So, yeah, let's hop in and talk about your game a little bit before we talk about Wisconsin and their upcoming matchup this weekend. Is there anything now that the season's over? Is there anything that you plan to work on to make sure that your game is ready to translate to college pretty quickly?
Yeah, I think the one thing I've been really striving to work on the most has been my outside game, my outside shooting. The Badgers obviously strive a lot on their big guys shooting with Nolan Winter and Stephen Crowell. So I think overall, if I can get my 3-point game and like my overall shooting game better, it can only expand my game from there, and then they can utilize me in many different ways than just being a traditional post on the block. So my shooting overall.
Yeah, and that had to be like a major thing for you when you committed. And that's been going on long before Crowell or Winter. That's been around since Frank Kaminsky, guys who were like around like Brian Butch in the 2000s. Like Badgers have had big men who been able to stretch the floor, and they've just been able to really grow guys from their freshman year to their senior year where they don't even look like the same guy. So it's just the history of Badger big men and their successes. Was that a big part of you committing to Wisconsin?
Yeah, obviously, like you said, you can see Frank Kaminsky and guys like that, like Badger greats. So yeah, it was definitely a big part. I think my game, the people on the coaching staff can really help me develop my game. Obviously, with Greg Steensma and Joe Krabenhoff and stuff like that, who's been recruiting me the heaviest. So yeah, I think my game overall in the next 4 years will definitely take a big leap in that, and they can really help me with that.
Yeah, and now that your season's over, take me through what a day in your life is looking like right now.
Yeah, wake up, get a good breakfast in, head to school. So my school starts at about 8:20, 8:25. So I got class all throughout there. So usually we go like A and B days. So on my A days, I got a full 4 classes all the way to about 3:40. And then usually straight from there, I go get a lift in. I lift at a gym over on the west side of Middleton. So I get a lift in from about 4 to 6. And then usually I'm on the court either before that if I have time or after. And then on my B days, I only have one class, so that's my time to get on the court during the day even. So like from like 12 to 2, I usually go work out, and then so I can get my lift in at like 4, and then obviously just spend time with family and stuff like that. But I try to really have my academics and athletics balanced throughout the day because
Sure.
UW really takes a strive in athletics and academics. So it really depends on kind of what my class schedule is that day, but I try to get my lift in. I try to lift like 5-6 days a week, and then also be on the court 4 to 5 as well, working on my skills.
Sure. And talking about your game just a little bit more. Is there anything underrated in your game that you think might surprise Wisconsin fans when you get there?
I think what I've been working on a lot, what I think is still underrated, is my passing ability. Being able to see guys from, when I'm getting doubled and triple teamed in high school, being able to see that cutter and, that weak side fade, being able to find guys like that. I led my team in assists this year,
Oh,
being a big
wow.
man. So just overall, I think that's what's kind of grown in my game. And I think that's what people talk about a lot with Stephen Crowell is, his passing ability. He's averaging, I think, almost like 2 to 3 assists a game as a
Yeah.
big man. So being able to see, the guards cutting and when that double team comes and stuff like that. Just overall my passing game.
Yeah, and some of the best Badger big men over the years, and you see it a little bit in Nolan Winter, had the ability not only to stretch the floor, but to put the ball on the deck and get to the hoop. Is that something that you envision yourself being able to do down the road at Wisconsin?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people, compare me to Nolan Winter. I think we kind of have the same build and stuff like that. But yeah, being able to, put on the floor, being able to dribble at 7 foot, but also being able to find my teammates and open up shots. That's kind of what I strive for. Being, a team player and an unselfish player. Obviously, I'm going to take my shots when I can. But yeah, I feel like I said, a lot of people compare me to Nolan and being able to like stretch the floor like he does. Obviously, he puts it on the ground. He moves very well at his size. So yeah, I take a lot of pride in that. A lot of pride in that game.
Good deal. And talk about some like kind of the vision that the staff has laid out for you and what they envision you looking like as you develop.
Yeah, I think just my development. Coach Guard always says bigs kind of come on a little later than guards do. In their development. You can see that like from the jump that Nolan Winter's even taken from freshman to sophomore year already. But I think they just want to obviously get me in the weight room, get stronger, get better on the court. But overall, what Guard talks about a lot is that, that potential and the process that it takes, and, be patient and, don't try to rush anything, because everything's going to come at time if you work for it. So that's a big thing they talked about with me.
Good deal. And just talking about this year's current squad, what's your relationship with some of the guys on the team right now?
With Nolan Winter, I think that's kind of my main guy that I've talked to a lot. My official visit, I spent a lot of time with him. And then also with the younger guys like J-Rob and Dan Freitag, spent a lot of time with them on my official visit. I've texted them and communicated with them throughout when I've been on campus. So I think just trying to, build a strong relationship with those young guys that I'm going to actually be on the team with next year has been really, really good for me. So, yeah.
Good deal. And did you grow up a Badger fan, or I know you're a state guy. Were you a Badger fan, Marquette? What was it? And then if you were a Badger fan, who were some of your favorite players growing up?
Yeah, I've always been a Badgers fan. Growing up, I think I'm 15 minutes away from campus, living in Middleton.
Sure.
Just being able to have see that culture and energy that, all the Badger fans bring. People say no one has fans like Wisconsin, and people travel and stuff like that. So yeah, I've always been a Badger fan, never been a Marquette fan. I'd say some of my favorite Badger players, obviously Sam Decker, Frank Kaminsky, those are two. Johnny Davis. So my mom's from La Crosse, so she's really kind of close with the Davis family. Or so that's kind of a cool relationship I've had. I shout out for his AU team a little while ago. So I've definitely had a relationship with him. But he's been really, really cool. Obviously, he was a really good player for the 2 years that he was there. I think those are some of my favorite. And then some players, obviously, you can't love John Tonje, what he's been doing this year, stuff like that. So a lot of current guys too.
Absolutely. And it's kind of funny you said you never grew up a Marquette fan, but they did offer you. Marquette did offer you, and they've been rolling. Was that how close were you with Marquette and the recruitment with them?
Yeah, so they were my first offer. They offered me right after sophomore year.
Was that Shaka who offered you? It had to be Shaka. Okay.
Shaka. Yeah. So it was right after my sophomore year. I went on an unofficial visit, and they offered me on the unofficial. Obviously, Marquette's a great program, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity that they gave me to play or have the opportunity to play for them. I loved everybody on the coaching staff and like that. I just felt like, at the end when I was making my decision, the Badgers were a better fit for me and like my development in my game. Obviously I loved it and was really grateful for Shaka and everybody else on the coaching staff at Marquette and all the players there for giving me that opportunity.
Cool. Good deal. And we talked about this a little bit off camera, but just what were your initial reactions to the Badgers draw in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think we got a really good draw. I think Montana was not going to discredit them, but maybe one of the weaker 14 teams that the Badgers could have got. So
I agree.
I think if we can't beat Montana, like you said, we're not going to be able to make it. We shouldn't deserve to make it far.
Yeah.
But I think our path, it's not easy, and no team's going to have an easy path, but I think it's definitely achievable and stuff like that. So yeah.
What do you think the ceiling is on this team?
I think the ceiling is Final Four team. I think we all have all the pieces together. We're leading the country in free throw percentage. All five guys can shoot on the court at all times. We got a player of the year candidate in John Tonje. We got a good point guard in John Blackwell, and then we got role players that know how to play their role, and everybody's unselfish on the team. I think Final Four. Obviously everybody tries. A lot of people count out the Badgers all the time because we dropped some early in the past years, but I think this is a different team and there's new goals and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, and off camera, I was kind of just telling you how I personally think that age is super important, and right now in college basketball, between the portal and the extra COVID year, you have some really, really old players out there. You have like people can look it up, but 7th-year seniors, maybe even some 8th-year seniors are around, 6th-year seniors. Teams are really old right now, and Wisconsin's one of those old teams. We have a lot of 5th-year seniors, a 6th-year senior in Tonje, but a lot of seniors is my point. So do you kind of look at next year with everyone leaving, including Steven Crowell, and like, hey, like I'm motivated, like I want to try cracking the floor right away as a freshman?
Yeah, I think especially in the Big Ten, experience is kind of what it's always been. But I think it's kind of this new age of college basketball with the transfer portal and NIL and everything. Yeah, I'm obviously I'm trying to crack the floor right when I get there. I'm trying to prove to the coaching staff and everybody that I can play as a freshman. Like you said, there's a lot of people going. Like I think there's graduating 6 or 7 guys next year almost. And obviously, if you look at it right now without the transfer portal, kind of you got Greppy, but then you also got that Nolan Winter as kind of the only bigs there right now.
Yeah.
So I think my opportunity is obviously there, and if I prove myself and I can show myself throughout obviously summer, June through August, I think there's definitely a good chance that I can, prove to the coaching staff that I can get minutes and I can play in the Big Ten as a freshman.
Good deal. No, that sounds great. So those are all the questions I have for you. I got a rapid fire round, so I'll give you a bunch of questions and you just answer in a timely fashion. So the first question I got for you is, who's your favorite hooper of all time?
Kevin Durant.
Who's the best basketball player in the world right now?
Nikola Jokic.
Any hidden talents that you have?
I can juggle.
Okay. Yeah, I was at the Wisconsin-Michigan game. I was in Indy, and gosh, Golden before the game was doing all the kind of things, just juggling and all that.
Yep.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. But dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Favorite food?
I'm gonna say pasta.
Okay. Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Toughest player you've ever had to guard?
Teammate Zach Kingsinger.
Okay. Favorite movie?
Home Alone 2.
MJ or LeBron?
I'm gonna go LeBron.
Okay. Favorite sport outside of basketball?
Golf.
Favorite cheat day meal?
Chick-fil-A.
Then I'll go favorite Badger hooper of all time if you had to pick one.
Gotta go Frank Kaminsky.
Okay. Your favorite lift in the gym?
I'm gonna say bench.
Okay. Favorite TV show?
I just watched Prison Break. That was pretty good.
Okay. Then favorite music genre?
Rap.
Okay. Then the last one, if you could have dinner with any living person right now, who would it be?
Any living person right now?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna go Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis.
All right, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Will Garlock. Will, thank you very much for coming on the show. Looking forward to staying connected along the way.
Yep. Thank you for having me.